Good Monday morning. Thanks for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Megan McPherson. Developing this morning in Minneapolis, 3 people are in the hospital. One of them is fighting for his life after a triple shooting just over the river near downtown Minneapolis. This is new video of the scene from just hours ago. You can see a large police presence there and a paramedic on scene and police tape blocking off the area. Police say it happened on University and Hennepin Avenue near First Avenue East. Our photographer drove to HCMC and found a large group of people there. We also saw 5 squad cars near the entrance and 2 groups of police. Police say that no arrests have been made. Also breaking this morning, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says he's resigning. He just made this announcement in the last few hours. The announcement comes after multiple news outlets reported Starmer was considering resigning over the weekend. He says he'll keep working until a new leader is picked. Experts say Andy Burnham, the newest member of Parliament, could take over, and if he does, he would be the UK's 7th Prime Minister in a decade. All eyes on Target Field right now, where nearly 500 concession workers are planning to go on strike for one day. That could mean long lines during one of the biggest games of the year, Twins versus Dodgers. The workers telling us 2 key issues remain unresolved: wages that haven't kept pace with the rising cost of living and a lack of affordable health insurance. Now, they're also calling for stronger job protections, and represented by Unite Here Local 17. The secretary of that union, or the secretary treasurer rather, Shay Freeberg, says workers have spent months bargaining in good faith, but argues that Delaware North has failed to do the same. Delaware North disputes that claim. In a statement, the company said it looks forward to, quote, continuing to negotiate in good faith a new contract with our valued employees at Target Field, adding that it fully intends to maintain concession service during the strike. And while today's walkout is scheduled to last just one day, Freeberg said the union isn't ruling out additional action, and that includes strikes during future Twins games. Happening tonight, Anoka Hennepin parents will present a petition calling for a school funding referendum on the ballot in November. Parents say they've already collected 3,000 signatures. The group argues since February 2024, the district has cut more than $22 million and eliminated more than 270 positions. The school board says they've already talked about a referendum, but haven't decided if it's going to happen. A fragile peace deal between the U.S. and Iran is holding this morning. That's despite fighting in Lebanon and Iran's threats to ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Negotiations are continuing this morning between Vice President J.D. Vance and Iranian officials. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Hi there. Iran is protesting new threats from President Trump to return to fighting if diplomacy fails. The Iranians then threatened to walk away from talks, but Vice President Vance said they never actually did, and that the 2 sides made progress on key issues from managing conflict in the Strait of Hormuz to Lebanon and getting nuclear inspectors back into Iran. High-stakes peace talks with Iran entering a second day today after a marathon first round Sunday in Switzerland, with Vice President J.D. Vance leading the U.S. negotiating team focused heavily on Iran's nuclear program and the potential to lift U.S. sanctions.
If they are willing to give up nuclear weapons ambitions for the long term, then the United States is willing to fundamentally transform our relationship with that country.
At the same time, President Trump telling Fox News in a Sunday morning phone interview that he told the Iranians directly if they close the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. will, quote, blow the S out of them and they won't have a country. Iran claimed over the weekend that it did close the strait, though the U.S. disputes that. The president also posted a threat to hit Iran very hard again unless it stops its proxies in Lebanon, a reference to Hezbollah militants whose continued fighting with Israel risks derailing the broader peace deal, as Democrats slam the president's approach.
An arsonist starting a fire and getting credit for running out of the burning building. This president has led this nation into a disaster. We have surrendered our power.
The U.S., along with mediators Qatar and Pakistan, say they've already made great progress, establishing a high-level committee to oversee technical talks aimed at reaching a final deal within the next 60 days that will need to overcome looming obstacles. Iran's foreign minister posted overnight that the first round of talks delivered major progress to end the fighting in Lebanon. Vice President Vance agreed with that, and he downplayed Iranian state media reports that Iranian officials consider those recent threats from President Trump a serious violation of the agreement. Negotiations set to continue the rest of the week. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
This morning, the city of Los Angeles is under a state of emergency as a massive fire at a cold food storage facility has been burning for days. Crews have been using helicopters to fight this fire. You can see it here. That started Wednesday. The building was storing 85 million pounds of frozen food. Authorities say they're concerned about biohazards caused by decaying food. The fire is also impacting the region's air quality. The company that owns the house says it's providing air purifiers and food and $2 million in assistance to people who have been displaced. And this morning, the Woodbury Police Department is investigating after an SUV crashes into townhomes, leaving a trail of damage and sparking a gas leak. That crash happening late Saturday night at the Preserve in Woodbury. Neighbors say they saw the white Mercedes start at a dead end before accelerating down the road, driving into a lawn before hitting a street sign and crashing into a utility box. The driver then crossed the street, hitting a woman's home. After the crash, Christine Earle says she heard hissing and smelled gas. She then grabbed her 9-year-old son and evacuated.
My light fixtures on the upstairs fell off of the ceiling, and that's how hard it hit the house. His teddy bear is sitting right next to where they came in, because that's where he sits. So it's just scary to think what could have been.
Oof, scary indeed. Yeah, Xcel Energy says damage to the natural gas meter forced about a dozen people in 4 adjacent townhomes to evacuate. Neighbors say after the crash, the driver went on to hit a light pole before crashing into another house. Police say the driver was taken to Regions Hospital for evaluation, and they are investigating the cause of this crash. Well, it is time for the Special Olympics USA Games competition underway right here in Minneapolis. Today, there are matchups in several sports, including swimming, cheer, golf, and pickleball. We wish good luck to all the athletes. Last year, we introduced you to 2 sisters who developed an app to track turtle movement across Minnesota. After a year of beta testing, that app is now identifying some dangerous roads for the animals. And as Audrey Russo shows us in today's Communities That Care, awareness is spreading.
Galpin Boulevard in Chanhassen. Wildlife watchers have more than one word
horrible
to describe it.
This now is our biggest hotspot we've identified.
While Kelly Olson wouldn't describe herself as a turtle expert.
If the shell fits.
The problem she's found is best explained.
We really get that bigger picture.
By Turtle Tracker, the app she created and beta tested for the last year.
See a turtle, track a turtle, submit your data. In the last 4 weeks, I've received roughly, I would say, 15 photos of dead turtles. And some of these turtles are large nesting females that look to be decades old.
Kelly knew the data from her app would track hotspots, but what she didn't realize was that the app's users would track her down too.
It's a really preventable issue. People just aren't aware of how much activity is happening here. I found a hot spot, and that's when Kelly and I connected.
Katie Heischa's use of Turtle Tracker
daily,
documents the danger on Galpin, but it's data that carries dual interpretation.
There's a lot of people who care and a lot of people that are willing to take the time to show that they care too.
We were absolutely blown away by the community response and all the care and compassion. It's hard to look at, but once you see it, you really can't unsee it.
Seeing the problem,
oh my gosh, there's a whole group.
No!
Would only take about 5 minutes if everyone watched the roads.
Sorry, I'm seeing animals lots of animals crossing the road today.
As close as Kelly.
They're everywhere. This road was never fully finished. They do not stand a chance of getting up this curb.
Kelly says getting Galpin classified as a wildlife corridor would bring more road changes that improve animal safety.
They know where they're going.
Along the way,
snappers can be a little bit intimidating.
She's teaching people.
Pick up with 2 hands.
The best way
from the very back
to help crossing wildlife.
Her net cannot reach me when I'm picking up from back here. So another option, if you're uncomfortable picking up a snapping turtle, is just grabbing their car mat and guiding guiding the turtle across the road. Just a great, effective option with something you probably already have in your car.
Demonstrations,
And that's a safe crossing.
best described
It's much bigger than turtles.
as ocean.
We're trying to move from what we call an ecosystem or a human-centered system to a true ecosystem where all wildlife is considered.
In Chanhassen, Audrey Russo, Kare 11 News.
Thanks to Audrey for that story. Stick with us. More news and weather is coming up after the break.